Hey guys, it's Micah from edeneyetarot. I am back. I am back to do the weekly tarot read for the upcoming week of September 19th. I can't believe we're almost done with Virgo season. Has it been as crazy as a Virgo season as it has for me for everybody else? I just want to know that down in the comments because it's been insane lately, especially with this Mercury retrograde going on. My web camera broke a couple days before this video, and so please excuse the camera quality on here, but I'm here to get it done anyway. And so we have the tarot read for the upcoming week, starting, of course, on Sunday, which I guess technically is September 18th. But I am here to do the tarot read nonetheless. And I just picked out 5 cards from, I think I did 10. I pulled 10, but I'm gonna try and sum this up. I'm really trying to do something new and actually put out shorter videos. Or minimizing how much I'm talking in videos. I mean, it's my aspiration, but it probably won't happen. All right, so let's go ahead and get this show on the road. Okay, so the first card that I have for the upcoming week and the energy of this week is, of course, the Hermit. I'm not surprised that this card showed up. It is the Virgo card after all, and this card has been coming up for me a lot personally as well. And so I personally am a bit tired of seeing this card. But I guess it's also for good reason. Collectively, I think the Hermit is really asking us to take our time to look at things a bit more closely. Don't just jump at the first thing that looks good. It's really asking us to slow down, look at the details, look at quality versus quantity, and sometimes quality takes a bit longer takes a bit longer of a time to be able to judge or to be able to pick out. And the Hermit, I think, is saying that you don't really need to rush things. It takes its time. Take more of a natural, earthy kind of attitude to this week. It's more of the tortoise and the hare comes to mind, or that story comes to mind when I think of the Hermit card as it pertains to this week, and what I'm feeling is coming for this week. Take the tortoise's perspective rather than the hare. It's not, we are an earthy energy, and so it's about common sense and practicality, but it's also about what naturally comes next. And what naturally comes next, just like how a flower blooms, it takes time. And I don't know if anybody that is watching this gardens, but I know I get extra antsy when I see that first sprout of an herb or a plant that I've planted from seed, kind of popping out of the dirt. And usually it happens overnight, but the growth is very slow, even though I see the beginning of something that could be, and I'm seeing the potential. The Hermit card is really saying it's okay to see the potential. And keep that in mind, but you cannot rush the process. And I think a lot of us are just kind of clawing. I mean, I'm speaking to myself as well, are clawing for the potential and what we know things can be, and we're in such a rush possibly to move forward. And so the Hermit card is really saying there's so much beauty in what happens behind the scenes and getting things done at a slower rate to really make sure that all the checks and balances are done, and that you are building on a sturdy foundation. Along with talking about a sturdy foundation, we have the Death card, which is talking about transformation, rebirth, things that aren't seen, going or looking underneath the hood. It can also be talking about sacrifices. This is Scorpio's energy, and I love actually that Virgo and Scorpio's energy are coming up here. And so we're talking about needing to purge things, cut things off, things that are not healthy for us, things that, maybe are a bit too distracting, and, really fine-tuning what are we focused on. Scorpio is a traditionally Mars-ruled sign, and so it can bring in focus and ambition as well. But I think it's really it's really talking about look at the long term rather than how things feel right now. Again, it's okay to look at the potential, and see into what something can and is growing into, but knowing that you cannot rush things. This can also have to do with like other people's money, since Scorpio does pertain to that, or like those eighth house kind of like themes, but it can also be like, how are you merging with other people? Are you helping, or are you reaching out for help from other people? It can also be talking, I think, about fear as well. It's saying, like, don't let fear hold you back. Virgo can be, of course, a worrier. Scorpio, that Scorpio aspect with these two together, I could see, is a lot of people sweating the small details, and it just kind of like blowing up into a full-blown like crisis, but remember that crisis is it all starts in the mind. And I think that's another thing that we can really talk about, like, with that, slowing down and really slowing down our thought process, especially with Mercury retrograde, as it goes back into Virgo. Is this truly a crisis, or am I making it that? Because I think with these two cards, it's really asking us to go more so within, to really to reflect on where our mind's at and what's actually physically there in front of us, what's actually happening. Again, speaking to myself here, I have Jupiter and Virgo in the 8th house, so I can totally relate to all of that. We were talking about patience already, and so I'm not surprised that the Temperance card also came up. So Temperance is Sagittarius's card. It's on the other side of Scorpio, so I love that it came up after the Death card. Temperance is all about healing. It's about balance. It's about patience. And so it can be talking about reworking something, needing to look and reflect at the past, possibly to kind of renew, to heal. As you're kind of, purging and pulling things and, pulling out the proverbial like weeds, so to speak. Temperance really says it's important to make sure that while you're doing all the hard work, you're balancing that out with time that you are taking care of yourself. It can also be saying that making those hard decisions and those sacrifices that are coming from the Death card and the Hermit card are really going to help you out in the long run, and really move you forward very quickly, because Sagittarius, in my mind, is a very quick kind of sign, or a quick energy, and it really helps to expand things very quickly. And so it's saying, yes, things are going slow right now. Sagittarius is also a fire sign, so it's a lot quicker of an energy. But it's saying, yes, things might seem like they're not going anywhere right now. You might feel like you are running in concrete right now. But take the time that you need to do what you need to do right now, and have the patience. Take the time to do the hard work, do the healing. And look at things from a different perspective. Switch up your belief system. It can also be talking about maybe needing to communicate with others from a more open-minded standpoint as well. We can also look at Temperance as just kind of being about like our dreams, or really looking towards our dreams and taking those steps, even if hard, to actually pursue those goals with the right care, asking the right questions, being inquisitive, and all of that really helps to open us up to a new level up, or a new sense of freedom. Even though I think this is more so about belief and trusting in the process. That's what I personally feel this is about with Temperance. It's about maybe making more time to meditate, making more time for prayer, making more time to be reflective, and just going inward. And with that, all of the outward movement will come later. Finally, we have the Strength card, and I don't think the Strength card really needs to be explained too much here, because it's what we've been talking about. I see the Strength card a lot when we're talking about some sort of emotional endurance that is kind of prolonged. I almost get the visual of somebody pushing a huge boulder up a mountain, It is frustrating. It is hard work. It is all about, really pushing yourself to your potential, and knowing, and I hate to sound cliche here, but knowing that things are going to be okay, possibly because of your spirit team, but also of your own will. The beast that's inside is a traditional meaning for this card, and much like the lions that are on this card in particular, the strength card really says that you have the strength within you to get through these trials that you're going through this week. Authenticity, creativity can also play a really big part in this. But again, I kind of come back to temperance, because also with the strength card, you're also bringing balance into, I guess, that more civilized kind of part of the brain with the more beastly side. But that's still authentic, making that beastly side more palatable, and more efficient for getting your goals achieved, but not completely running other people over, or being, more tyrannical in your pursuits. You can also have authority figures that, are really testing you this week, and really taking the time to breath work comes to mind with all four of these cards coming up. You can really be tested this week to and to really take the time to breathe through certain things. I wouldn't be discouraged, though. I like all these cards together, again, especially with temperance. It's saying with patience, everything is possible. So maybe some yoga, maybe some meditation is really good, especially with Mercury retrograde and us being in Gemini, Mars in Gemini shadow. Those can really those themes can come up, or those activities can come up, to be very useful, or just getting out and being more physically active. I think of that when I think of the Hermit card, because of Virgo's energy here, and Virgo can point to things like health and routine. So reorganizing your routine, like maybe going back to certain like classes, or exercise classes, educational pursuits, things that bring you joy, strength, and creativity, things that you really love. Like, really focus on those things as you're going through a bit of an interesting time, because we got to remember that Scorpio and Leo are square, so we have a little bit of Mars energy going on here. And so I really think about, again, like that whole boulder, it's a slow burn that's going on this week. And so don't get discouraged. Make sure that you are communicating with other people. It's okay to be vulnerable. That's another thing that we're talking about when we're talking about the Death card, is vulnerability. There's so much power in vulnerability with others, but you have to be careful about who you are vulnerable with, of course. And so it's really also talking about discernment, which I think has been coming up so often lately. We can see all of those things really coming up this week as well, making sure that you're also taking care of yourself, taking time to rest, taking time to just let things be. If you've done like a lot of movement and action and like reorganizing things, let them play out before you start to kind of move things around again. But with that being said, guys, that is your tarot read for the week of September 18th. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.